Me forgetting my wallet during my dinner date with my non-binary partner. They'll pay for this. Well, they'll have to now, won't they? Because someone forgot their wallet. But listen, I'm sure your partner loves you and is very happy to pay for the dinner. You know, because, yeah, I guess if you're not into ditching your bills, I feel like they'll just have to pay anyways. But again, you know, in a healthy relationship, if both partners kind of earn a similar amount of money, really, it just kind of makes sense that you kind of take turns paying, or what person A pays for this and person B type pays for this kind of thing. You know, I think it's fine that they'll pay for this. Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing some NB memes because honestly I cannot remember the last time we did this. Like, we do queer memes fairly regularly, but just NB alone focused not that often, which is strange to say the least. But anyways, you know the deal. Before you continue, y'all gotta get hydrated. So grab some water or some tea or whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll continue. Are you hydrated? Good. Let's go. Choose your gender. Alien, horse, or weird burger person? I think with these options I'm gonna have to go alien. And somehow these are still... they seem kind of preferable to the normal binary options, at least. You know, but I feel like trying to force people into like 3 neat categories isn't gonna work anyways. You know, that's kind of the whole point. Like, non-binary isn't third set gender like these are, which a lot of people seem to think, but that's not really what it is. It's more of a, well, neither of the binary options, man and woman, which wouldn't actually be that restrictive if people stop being weird about gender roles, you know, but anyways. It's more of those two incredibly restricting options don't seem accurate. So we're gonna go with the third option. But that third option can encapsulate a lot, you know, but still. Alien it is, I guess. How they think gender be like. Boy-man has to be masculine. Girl-woman has to be feminine. In between, just unspeakable evil. What it's actually like. Blue to pink. Boy-man, girl-woman, yes, no, maybe, all, none, I don't know, lol. It kind of seems very accurate. Because I feel like a lot of cis people don't necessarily think about gender. They might still think about gender presentation, right? Whether they want to dress classically feminine and wear a lot of like maybe skirts, or just wear a lot of makeup and, you know, feminine tops with whatever. You know, some people think about that, some people don't. Honestly, if that what is deemed normal just seems really comfortable for you, you might really have no reason to. But this kind of just bleeding into each other seems a lot more accurate. You know, I feel like we're still missing like a very, like a white line in the middle, because some people are just agender and just don't vibe with gender at all and just can't identify with any of it. So we're kind of missing the thin white line, but apart from that, I really kind of like this bleeding into each other because, yeah, things aren't strictly male or female, masculine or feminine. Like, a lot of people don't neatly fit into those categories. Like, they don't even fit into those categories just biologically. Because, yeah, sure, the percentage of intersex people isn't that high, but it's still a lot of people. So even biology-wise, it does not work the way on the top. But especially gender-wise, like brain-wise, of how people identify and what is comfortable to people, and presentation-wise, if they want to present masculine or feminine, it's really not that clean-cut like in the top. Queerness as a rigid condition, an inescapable burden. Sad about it. Queerness as a source of agency, resistance, and bodily autonomy. Now this seems a lot better. Perspectives on queerness. These two perspectives on queerness come with radically different implications on your well-being, political beliefs, relationships, and actions. doomerism, assimilationism, and reactionary resentment versus joyful optimism, self-affirmation, and revolutionary desire. Okay, I did include the first comment. I didn't read that many comments, but I included the first one because queerness in queer spaces and around other queer people, freedom, authenticity, community, queerness around straight people, alienation, and loneliness, but queer joy and gender euphoria are some of the most powerful sources of happiness and can make me feel so damn liberated. Yeah, honestly, I think no one's gonna advocate for being yourself if it's actually gonna put you in danger. Ideally, we would live in a world where it just wouldn't, where you could just be who you are, and even if some people didn't like it, you wouldn't get hate crime for it. They would just like maybe look at you a little bit weird. You know, like the same way you maybe look at someone weird who has like a completely opposite taste in music and you just don't get it, but you're not gonna hate crime them, you know, kind of. If it was just kind of that, of people just not getting it, but you were just gonna be safe, then yeah, obviously just embracing who you are and finding community with like-minded people, and you know, that's great. Apart from this, because that's unfortunately not the case in a lot of places, taking a realistic approach to being like, well, a lot of people might hate crime before I am, so I'm gonna have to keep it like a little bit closer to my chest. But maybe if I actually like find people I vibe with and like a community, then I can still kind of find that queer joy there, and it's kind of trying to find a balance, because yeah, if you just focus on the negative and if you just focus on all the things that could go wrong, and that's not just for queer people, that's just like a general thing. If you keep just focusing on all the negative, then that's what you're training your brain to only see. And you're just gonna feel worse. Not forgetting all of that, but just trying to see the positive and trying to find any kind of positive in a situation and trying to find like a positive community or something is gonna be a lot better for your mental health. This game gets me. Scout. Class, Brigade, level 18, modifications, none. It's you. Gender Deity. Well, I mean, can we include deity in the in-between that's not strictly male and female? Yes, absolutely. I guess I want to, just because I know it'll piss people off, because some people seem to think queer people or MB people just do this for attention and because they want to be special and seem more powerful. So I want to include it just to piss these people off, because really what we're trying to do is just be comfortable and live authentically, you know, but if you can piss people off who just refuse to try to get it, you know, like if you just don't understand it, you give up at some point, whatever. Just don't be a hateful dickbutt and try to dictate how other people live their lives, you know? So let's include this, actually. Me, trying to keep my expectations realistic. They gave me a 2-year estimate for actually seeing a doctor. Also me freaking out because I'm on the waitlist for gender-affirming care. Woo! I'm talking with a care conditioner type person in late November and I'm so happy. Jamie? Like, honestly, if I meet anyone named Jamie, my head is just immediately gonna assume they're trans. I know that's not the case. I know a lot of parents thought it's a cool name and named their child that. But it's still one of those names that seems very trans to me. I don't know why, it just is. Okay, so first of all, I like your name, but it's kind of, you didn't have to say, it was kind of obvious to me. But anyways, waitlists are hell, but waitlists and kind of knowing it'll happen eventually is still a step, right? Because you recognized what you wanted and you took the steps towards it. And yes, the 2-year wait is still gonna feel endlessly long, and some days it's gonna feel worse than others, but still kind of knowing that things are moving forward is still great. So be excited. Be excited, because honestly this counts as queer joy as well. Knowing that things are gonna get better for you and that you are getting the help you need eventually. You know, I think you have every right to be excited. I also kind of get trying to be rational and be like, well, it's still gonna be at least 2 years before anything happens. Sure, that kind of sucks. I really wish these waitlists weren't so long, but still. Again, maybe just focus on the positive, because yes, you're gonna have to wait anyways, but if you try to drive yourself insane with only thinking about how long it's gonna take, then the wait is actually gonna feel longer than if you try to be excited about it and, you know, just try to see the positive of it. When you recognize a stranger on the internet from before, but see that they changed their pronouns for once, that make them happier. Visible queer happiness. Because yeah, I mean, honestly, anyone having their pronouns in like the email signature or in their profile makes me kind of happy. Because yeah, sure, they might just be like a random supportive cis person. And I really encourage cis people to do this too, because why wouldn't you? It's literally just words, you know. But anyways, just kind of recognizing that someone jumped over their own shadow, really. Because once you come out, people kind of just like expect you to be done, right? But if you learn more about yourself and you recognize that, oh, maybe that wasn't quite the right answer, then change it. If you find something that you recognize is actually like more accurate to you and just feels more comfortable to you, then change it. So I am gonna be happy too. Like, it kind of doesn't matter to me, right? Because why do I care what pronoun someone uses? You know, but like in the best way, I will just use what pronouns you want me to. And if you recognize that others might be more accurate and be more comfortable for you, then yeah, change it. Good for you that you recognize it, you know? An 1897 newspaper clipping. My genderfluid ass is laughing at this. Bertha. Sometimes you appear really manly, and sometimes you're absolutely effeminate. How do you account for it? Harold. I suppose it's hereditary. Half of my ancestors were male and the other half females. But is he wrong? Is he wrong though? That's kind of I like these jokes. This is just such a modern day shitpost. But it's not a modern day shitpost, but it's still kind of giving those vibes of, oh my god, this really androgynous person, you know? Oh my god, they look like a man and a woman had a baby, because obviously, but it's giving those vibes, but it's over 100 years old and I'm really here for it. Because humans change, but humans don't really change, you know? And I appreciate it. Transphobia is funny, because if I'm transmasc and I don't want a dick, then I'm a freak, but if I do, then I'm mutilating my body. Yeah, don't ask the transphobes, because you're not gonna even get a clear answer, but even if they do somehow manage to agree on something for like 5 seconds, it's still not gonna mean anything. But yeah, if you're having surgeries, you're mutilating your body, and even if you decide to do all the surgeries you can and take all the homos you can get, really, then you're still gonna be a freak in their eyes, so it really doesn't matter. So if you know a certain surgery will make you feel more comfortable in your body, then do that. Whether or not you decide to have surgery doesn't mean anything about your gender. You know, some people have really bad bottom dysphoria, some people don't have bottom dysphoria, some people don't even really have top dysphoria. Good for you, actually, because dysphoria sucks, so why would you want someone to have dysphoria just so they can do what seems normal to you? Why do you care so much about what other people do? You know? Just why do people care so much? I really don't get it. What's in my pants? Bruh, I'm wearing a skirt. What are you talking about? Are you blind? Because being blind is not an excuse to be really transphobic and invested in other people's lives, you know? Come on. But literally, this question it's just weird. I don't know, I don't know if I could clearly rank from, things that I find the strangest that people ask or comment for trans people, you know, of, this is kind of just why are you so invested in strangers' genitals? That just seems strange, to say the least. But you know, the whole, oh, but when they'll dig up your body and your bones in 100 years or in 500 years, they'll know. Because they really won't. Like, yeah, some bones are very clearly male or female bones, but, you know, they also take other things they find, you know, in the graves, or like if they find gravestones or something, you know, they take those into account as well. And literally, why would we even care? Like, trans people are very aware that biologically, that's kind of the whole point. Like, they recognize that their gender that they identify with is different from the biology they were assigned. Like trans people are very aware, and that's kind of the whole point. So why? That's maybe one of the weirdest things, actually, but this is just strange. When my hair tickles my elbows, Euphoria. Personally, I hate hair tickling me anywhere. That being said, it's not the strangest thing I've heard people have gender euphoria from. You know? So, if that's what does it for you, if that's what actually, you know, because maybe you were never allowed to have long hair and now it makes you feel really good that you finally can have long hair. I kinda get it, but I really don't. Be lazy and just present masculine. No excitement. Transition to present as androgynous. Yeah, still no excitement. Transition to present as a lazy AFAB envy who did nothing to transition except change their name and pronouns and wear a semi-effective binder. Now that's... because again, it doesn't really have to make sense to anyone but you. Right? It doesn't even necessarily have to make sense to you. Maybe you don't logically get why you want to do certain things. But if you know you want to do certain things, like wear a semi-effective binder and just change your name and pronouns, then go nuts. Literally, I really still don't understand how people can be that invested in other people's lives, that they care so much. Like, why would I have any kind of reaction to this? You know, it's like, hi, you want to do that? Okay. Okay. Go nuts, you know, if you need help with anything, let me know, but like, why would I really care? Other people, happy with their body, just walking. I'm done, this is great. My goals: get bottom surgery, body no longer produces teeth, take E to replace it, grow boobs, then get top surgery, wear padded bra to give the impression of boobs. Again, do I get this? Absolutely not. This seems really complicated. But again, it's not my body, so I don't even have to get it. You know? But this general feel of kind of just sometimes being incredibly jealous of the cis people, you know? Because yeah, cis people do a lot of stuff to affirm their gender. You know, like shave or not shaving certain body parts, or growing out a beard, or wearing certain clothes, you know? Getting surgery, like whatever, getting like a boob job or something. All gender affirming things. You know, but if cis people do it, it's okay. But generally, like the most cis people do, what a lot of people do, I don't know, dye their hair, go to work out, try to kind of build their body a certain way. You know, I feel like that's probably still more easy to do. And I kind of get just kind of being jealous of the cis people sometimes for it, you know? It's just have it easier. Because honestly, we're not choosing to make this more complicated or hard for ourselves, but it just kind of happens. Me. There were no signs. Me as a kid, wanting my nails painted and to grow out my hair. My absolute dread when I found out my voice would drop. Never learned to pee standing up because I just straight up refused. Pointing at it aggressively. I mean, periods don't sound fun, but surely they can't be worse than erections, right? I feel like they are for a lot of people. And to there were no signs. Well, it's kind of easier to tell in hindsight, right? Because if you don't know what any of it means, and if you're not educated about something, then yeah, it's kind of hard to spot the signs if you don't know what to look for, right? But once you know, you will see a lot of things. you will kind of just have moments of, that's why, oh god, that's why I did that, and it kind of doesn't really stop for a while, but just try not to get too hung up on that either, because I somehow managed to shake myself out of it really fast, but just focusing on the, oh my god, I could have known so much earlier is, again, not productive for anyone. Realistic transition goals? No. This guy's voice, though. Jushet. I have no idea what he sounds like. I'm kind of imagining he has like an equally as deep, if not deeper, voice than Felix from Stray Kids, but it's just really deep. So this seems fair. Realistic transition goals are all fun and games, and kind of recognizing that some goals might be unattainable. Sure, trying to keep it like a realistic approach, sure, but that doesn't mean you can't have goals that might not happen, Me and who wants to share this bet? Bro, just me, I'm genderfluid. Well, first of all, this bet does not seem big enough for 2 people. Maybe that's just me because I cannot lay still. So trying to sleep on like this, but at the same time we love people with a bit of duality, right? Or at least I do. Because someone who's just like really one-sided, maybe it's just because I don't really get it. Because I've never been that way, so maybe it's just that. But why not? Why limit yourself to only being like pink and liking cutesy stuff? That's cool. And if that's all you like, cool. But I don't really get it. Like, I love glitter and colorful things, but I mostly just wear black and just like more comfortable in black, and I love black and like green and kind of having like a simple color scheme. So, whatever. If you want to use both of these halves, go nuts. Me, when someone misgenders me, yeah, no worries, I don't really care. Actually cares a lot. Did I do this? Yes. I mean, now I really, most days, some days, it's so random. Like, some days it still kind of bothers me when I get called certain pronouns. And it's strange, because most days, I really couldn't care less. It doesn't faze me. Like, if it happens in bathrooms, there's like this little part of me that's kind of scared that more is gonna happen, that just like weird looks or like an offhanded comment of I thought I was in the wrong bathroom, Part of me is worried that something more is gonna happen and that someone might actually get violent one day, but mostly I just think it's hilarious, So it always catches me off guard when it does bother me. But I think maybe I think for a lot of trans people it gets like a little bit easier, because if you're like at a stage where everyone is constantly misgendering you, it's harder than if it just like happens sometimes. And also just the more you live like yourself, the more comfortable you just come with yourself, and it just doesn't matter as much as what other people say anyways, so maybe one day you won't actually care that much, and just saying, oh yeah, no worries, it's whatever, will actually be true. Getting everything in my life unofficially changed to my chosen name. My brain's suddenly not liking that name anymore. Why are you like this? Why? Just why? I feel like that happens to a lot of people. And actually, I have a nickname, which I was gonna change my name to, but then, like, in the end didn't. That nickname, great, amazing, I love it. My actual, like, legal name that I changed it to also kind of depends on the day. Some days it's kind of whatever. Some days I'm just like, why did I pick that one? Why that one? But it's still a lot better than my birth name ever was, so. Dress femme, feel comfortable but dysphoric. Dress mask, feel uncomfortable and dysphoric. Me. Normally I like saying do both, but in this case, I want to say do neither, but I recognize that's a little bit harder to do. Like, you gotta get dressed somehow, you gotta wear clothes, right? But kind of putting like a lot of work into every day, just try to find something perfectly androgynous that might make you feel comfortable and not dysphoric, seems like a lot of work, really. Inside of me, there are two wolves. One is male, the other is female. They don't fight, they just sit back and watch me struggle to balance the two of them. Which seems worse, right? It seems worse. Like, if they're full on fighting, it's just as frustrating, probably, but just sitting there and having them like, what you gonna do now, huh? What are you gonna do now? What do you want to do about this, huh? Just, it seems worse. It really does seem worse. In my case, it's usually just I think they're mostly just asleep. They're more like cats. They're just sleeping most of the day, really. And sometimes they're like, hey, don't you want to like do this super feminine thing or this super masculine thing? But I feel like most of the time they're just asleep and don't care, which might be easier than this. The gender binary cannot be separated from colonialism and white supremacy. Colonizers used it to portray indigenous people who often did not fit its rigid norms as underdeveloped savages. And don't we just love that? Do the whole, oh no, but we're superior and we're right. Because people still do it nowadays. You think they would learn at some point, but apparently they don't. You know? So just as a general reminder, I guess, I know it's not really a meme, but I feel like it needs to be said, and I feel like we need to say it more regularly because people keep forgetting about it. Anyways, that was all the memes and reminders I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you feel at least a little bit called out. And I hope for all the trans people, binary or non-binary, that you can do the things that actually feel affirming to your gender and that you get to do them safely. And that you have supportive people in your life. And that you're able to find the queer joy we all so desperately need. You know? So anyways, I'll be back in a few days with my next video. Until then, please stay hydrated.